Eshani, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101, and welcome back to Holiday Hoopla on my channel. Today we are going to be talking all about the Anastasia Beverly Hills Master Palette by Mario. This palette has been receiving so much hype. I mean, Anastasia new releases generally receive a lot of hype, but this palette made the Anastasia website crash. It took me forever to actually get onto the website to even purchase this product. As you guys could tell, I did purchase this from the Anastasia website, but I have seen it on Ulta.com, Sephora.com. I'm sure Macy's will be getting it as well. It shouldn't be too hard for you guys to get your hands on, but it is a limited edition product. So if you guys are interested in this palette, definitely pick it up sooner rather than later. The palette itself does retail for $45, and this is what the outer packaging of it looks like. It is in kind of like a matte black cardboard with this kind of gold foiled writing. The box that it comes in looks pretty much exactly the same. The back of the box does show you guys what's in the palette, and this is what the actual back of the palette looks like. When you open up the palette, you do get a little baby mirror in here, and then you do get a double-ended brush at the bottom, and you get 12 shadows. Let me go ahead and quickly talk about the brush. You are getting a double-ended brush. One side has kind of like a flat shader, and the other side has a fluffier crease brush. I actually do like the shader brush quite a bit. It is, I think it's synthetic because it's very soft. It's really nice, but this crease brush is not so great. It is kind of scratchy and pokey, and it's very bluntly cut. Let's go ahead and talk about the shadows, because I know this is what we were all waiting to hear about. As I said, you're getting 12 shades, and you can see the actual color selection is very fall inspired. You are getting kind of some olivey tones, some kind of warmer orangey tones. You're getting kind of like this slate bluish gray. Really interesting color selection. The majority of the colors in this palette are either shimmery or very metallic. There are only 3 true matte shades, and that would be these 3 shades right here. Now, before I talk about the texture of these shadows and the color selection, in my opinion, on the palette overall, let's go ahead and jump into swatches of everything you get in this palette. I went ahead and swatched the shades in rows. So here we have swatches of the top row of the palette. From left to right, we have Hollywood, NYC, Kim, Muse, Marina, and Claudia. As you can see, everything swatches very beautifully. All of these shades are really nice and very different, one next to the other. And here we have swatches of the second row in the palette. From left to right, we have Lula, Isabel, Violetta, Fifth Avenue, Bronx, and Paris. Once again, everything swatches very nicely. I mean, I have no complaints with the quality on any of these shades. Now to talk about the actual quality of these shadows. These are beautiful. I really think Anastasia has perfected their shadow quality, especially with the Modern Renaissance palette that they just released, and then with this newest palette that they have. The quality of the shadows is amazing. The pigmentation is beautiful. One swipe pigmentation, all of these shimmers. I mean, you can just lightly go over them with your finger and you will get so much pigment. The mattes are a little powdery, and because of the size of these pans, you definitely don't want to waste any products because these pans are quite small. So I would be a little weary of using the mattes with a very fluffy brush. Fluffier brushes can tend to kind of kick up more powder in the product. And I mean, these are so pigmented, you definitely don't need to, go overboard with them. I've used the shimmery shades with my finger and just patted it all over my lid. I've also used them with stiffer, flat brushes, and they work beautifully both ways. The eye look I have on today is using pretty much just this palette. I have this olive color kind of pat all over the lid. I blended a little bit with NYC in the outer corner. I used Isabel up through the crease and kind of as a transition shade. And honestly, I love the way the look turned out. This Bronx color, which is that olive green, really looks olive green on the eyes. I feel like a lot of times olive greens can tend to pull a lot more brown, or that olive color kind of muddies up. All of these shades stay so true to their actual pigment. It's amazing. Color selection wise, this is definitely going to be either you love it or you not so much love it. Overall, it is a very neutral palette. There's nothing bright, there's nothing necessarily really crazy unique in this palette. Some of the more muted shades, I will say I don't really have anything like Claudia. I don't think I have anything like that. It's kind of like that slate, bluish gray color, and even this olive is just so beautiful and in my opinion very unique. The wear time on these is absolutely beautiful. Honestly, I have nothing bad to say about the quality of these shadows. Okay, now let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the nitty-gritty nerdy side of makeup, and we're gonna talk some numbers. So like I said, this is a $45 palette. You are getting 12 shades. The total net weight in this palette is 8.4 grams, meaning you're getting 0.7 grams of product in each of these pans. That is really small. That's about 1/3 of the size of a full-size MAC shadow. That makes this palette $5.36 per gram of product you're getting in here. That is very, very expensive. You are paying a very high premium for this shadow formula. I'm not quite sure why, because I would say that this formula is very reminiscent of the Modern Renaissance palette. If you guys have that palette, you know that that palette retails for $42. You're getting 14 shadow shades. You're still getting 0.7 grams in every pan, but the total net weight, because you're getting 14 shades instead of 12, is going to be 9.9 grams, meaning you are paying $4.24 per gram in that palette. $4.24 per gram versus $5.36 per gram. You are paying a significantly higher premium on this palette. I don't know if it's because it has Mario's name on it. Chances are that is why. I understand that a collaborator does have to get paid for their time and effort and for using their trademark or their name or whatever on the product. But I will say the Anastasia palettes used to be very, very affordable. If you guys remember the Self-Made palette that came out last year, that was I think a $35 palette, had the same amount of shades, had really decent quality. Even before that, you had palettes like the Tamana palette and the Maya Mia palette. Those were like $28 or something. So those were really, really affordable. That's not to say that the quality of the products in here are bad. They are excellent. They are very, very good. But it's just sad to see a brand whose products that were very similar to this used to literally be like $20 cheaper, and now they are charging just such a high price for a product that I know is not necessarily worth it, just because I've seen them charge so much less. So that is just my honest opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching this holiday hoopla video. Make sure you are up to date with my holiday hoopla series. I do have my playlist linked down below. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting and subscribing, and I will talk to you guys in my next video on Monday. I will see you then. Bye! Just say this here and now. This is probably the best, most exciting haul. That has the same layout as any of the other Mega Pro palettes. You get 2 rows of mattes and 2 rows of shimmer, and if you guys